Alrighty, welcome back, boys and girls. It's your main math man, Mr. Shank, coming to you live from Walker Grant Middle School. And in this video, we're going to close out the week with this Thursday warm-up. Again, there is no warm-up for Friday as it is a quiz day, so please make sure that you're practicing and studying. So, for this warm-up, it says, Mr. Shank shows his work for an equation solution below. You notice a mistake. Which step does the first mistake appear? So make sure that when it's asking you for which step does it first appear, it means this. It might be in a certain calculation, but you're saying, okay, which line did you see the first mistake? And so if you're not able to kind of see it by just looking at the work, a good way to do it is maybe just work it out yourself and compare. So that's actually what I'm going to do. So let me zoom out just a smidge. So it also says, being a helpful student that you are, usually, you show your work for the correct answer here. So that's what I'm going to do on the side. So it says a negative 2 times the 7 minus y, plus 4 equals a negative 4. And so I want to make sure that I can see, alright, well, I have, again, anytime I am solving an equation, I want to make sure that I can do my distributive property, combine like terms, and manipulate the variable in that order. And so I want to distribute if I can, and so I see, okay, where I have any parentheses, yes I do, and so I can draw my box. Again, distributive property, you're just multiplying the outside amount, meaning negative 2, to each of the inside terms. So I have negative 2 times a positive 7 is negative 14, and I have a negative 2 times a negative 1y is a positive 2y. Again, make sure you're seeing where I got the coefficient from. If you don't see a number next to the variable, you at least know it is a 1. Again, that's implied, meaning you know it is there, because you can see how many y's are there. There's just 1. So you have negative 14 plus 2y, so you're going to write that right underneath. So you'd say negative 14 plus 2y, and you have plus 4 equals a negative 4. And so right away, you can actually see, hey, comparing your work to the work that was done for you, you see that, hey, that's where the mistake was. So it was in step 1. So in step 1, what happened? Well, so you could say the mistake is in step 1. And then you could say, what happened? Well, compare yours. So I multiplied negative 2 times positive 7, got negative 14. So did the original problem. And then when I did negative 2 times a negative 1y, I got positive 2y. However, in the work shown, again, you know there's a mistake here. So because it says, where does the mistake here? You can say that, hey, they either multiplied, I could say they multiplied incorrectly. Again, an easy way to remember is if it has different signs, meaning if it's a negative and a positive, your product or quotient is going to be negative. If you have same signs when you're multiplying or dividing, it's going to be a positive result. So, picking up where we left off, again, the mistake was in step 1, but we want to now see what this correct answer is. So again, I can draw my railroad tracks, river, training wheels, whatever you want to call them. Again, this is just balancing these two equations, these two expressions. Again, the left side is one expression and the right side is another expression. Together it is an equation. So now, all right, let's zoom back in now that we're mainly on, we're mainly on this one page. or excuse me, that's one frame. I did my distributive property. Now I want to combine like terms. And so first, is there any like terms on the left side? And so yes, there is. Again, this is a 2y, and this is a 4. So again, make sure you can see your numbers from your variables. And so you look, is there any like terms? Well, there's no variable terms that I can write together. So I know that this 2y is going to come down. However, I can see that, hey, I have a +4 and a -14. Again, if you need to draw the picture for yourself, please do, as that is very helpful. Combine these two constants together. My result is going to be -10. Everything else comes down, so I have plus 2y equals -4. I'm still combining like terms because I want to get all the constants on one side. So how would I get rid of this -10? Well, again, I have my inverse operation, so I'm going to bust out that red pen for ourselves. Add the opposite. So what's the opposite of a -10? It is a +10, so I add 10 to both sides. Let me actually use a little bit darker. Let's try this one. That way you guys can see it. So I have add 10 to both sides. There we go, a little bit better. Alright. Again, on the left side, I have 0 pairs, so they all cancel out. The positive 2y comes down because it stays the same. I have equals, and I have 4 negatives, 10 positives. Again, draw this out so that way you can see. Make sure you're not saying, 10 minus 4 or, 4 minus 10 or whatever you have. Just have 4 negatives and 10 positives. Make your 0 pairs. What is left over? 6. Then you see, okay, all the like terms are on each side. And so we manipulate the variable. That's just multiplicative inverse. So we divide it by the coefficient. So what's our coefficient on this last line? It is 2. And so we divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2. I keep forgetting that it's hard to see. I do apologize. Divide both sides by 2. On the left side, this becomes 1y. So we have 1y equals +3. Be able to check for yourself. And so I can do on the side here, do a little check. We're saying does, let me zoom down a little bit. Does this result work? Again, you check by substituting back in. So you say wherever I have a y, I now have a 3. So I'm going to rewrite this equation, and I'm going to substitute in a 3 everywhere where I have y. So I have -2 times quantity 7 minus, again, everywhere where I have a y, I now have a 3, plus 4 equals -4. And so what we're doing with this check, we're saying, does this side, is this equal to, so again you have that question mark there, is this equal to -4? Zoom back in, enhance, and so, alright, question mark, is this equal? Again, use your order operation, so I do inside the grouping symbols. This is 4, everything else stays the same. So times a -2 plus 4, we're saying, is this equal to a -4? -4 times 2, -2 times 4 is -8, plus 4, is that equal to -4? Again, you're just going down to see, do these two sides equal each other? And yes, they do. Be sure that you're seeing the difference between a check and what your answer is. Again, I only circle my answer and I check with a check mark. A lot of people Nick, have been saying that, hey, our answer is -4, which is not the case. I only circle my answer, which y equals 3. Again, check it using your Desmos as well. Be able to slay for that quiz tomorrow, and super slam that subscribe button.